Hang in there, it is!
Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
It is Friday night in Augusta, Georgia. What was that like? Was that a really overly enthusiastic intro? It felt different. I was trying something out, and then I immediately lost confidence when you giggled at my intro. Were you liking the direction that was going, Smylie?
I don't know. I just got the giggles. I don't know why.
It's Friday night in Augusta, Georgia. We got the giggles here on the Smylie Show. What a fun day, at the Masters and just across the board. Looking at this leaderboard right now, some of the names we got at the top. We got Bryson in the mix, Rory in the mix, Scottie, Victor Hovland, among other names.
What else do you need?
I mean, it's where we want to be going into the weekend, right?
I think so. I mean, obviously there's another player at the top of the leaderboard. Justin Rose is leading the golf tournament currently, but I will say that's kind of the three-man horse I think everybody's paying attention to. Talking about Scottie Scheffler, of course, Bryson DeChambeau, and who's the other one? Rory McIlroy, of course. Sorry, it's been a long day. It was a lot. There's no commercials during feature group coverage, so if I blank out here at any point, just hit the restart button on my arm or something. But it had its like ups and downs today, like moments of just holy crap. It feels like a Sunday already, and the pressure is intensifying. Shots that happen, big moments of chip ins, hole outs, and then we kind of saw a little bit of the wrong stuff too. We saw some down moments on a really hard day, receptive greens, gusty winds, and a little cooler temperatures too. But a fun Friday. There was a Justin Ray tweet that of the 13 rounds today in the 60s at Augusta National, 11 of them came from the early half of the draw. So, I actually kind of love that it happened that way from a storyline perspective, because it was a lot of the guys like Rory who needed to make a move heading into the weekend, and he did just that. So now we have this highly entertaining star-studded leaderboard as we head into Saturday. I can't wait to get to all that. We're going to talk about each of those players, some of the shots of the day. We're going to talk about some cool stuff you got to do today. I'm both excited to go where we have to go next, but also a little bit reluctant because it means we have to look at our daily fantasy lineup that we bombed pretty bad in our first Who was the first pick of the draft, just so we can get that out in front?
Shane Lowry.
He was. How's he doing?
Was your first pick of the draft. He is playing the weekend, which is more than can be said.
Playing the weekend? He's in the hunt, man.
He's in the hunt, without a doubt. I'm just saying.
Come on. He's 3 back in the lead.
Relative to the rest of our team. Well, this journal is presented by DraftKings. We appreciate their support this week. And for the year's first major, DraftKings is giving all customers a shot to play free for a $1 million top prize with your next $10 deposit. That takes us to where we are not winning any $1 million top prize. We're going to win a grand total of $0.00 on my account. Smylie mentions Shane Lowry, good first draft pick for him. T5, 5 under. From there, in terms of point earnings, next up is Collin Morikawa. Great day today for Collin.
Yes, indeed.
Can't wait to talk about that. He's tied for 12th, 3 under, made bogey at 18. Could have even been lower. And then we have Matt McNeely, T37, 1 over, who somehow earned more points than Wyndham Clark, who's T27 and even. But those are the guys who made the weekend. Will Zalatoris, Sepp Straka, unfortunately, did not.
Willie Z missed the weekend,
8 over today.
God.
Or no, 8 over for the tournament. I'm sorry.
Man, I just didn't see that coming with Willie Z and Sepp. But
got beat by Bernhard Longer in his own group.
God, don't say that.
I'm just saying what's on the leaderboard.
Oh man, a hard golf course, no doubt about it. There was, I think the morning you kind of just talked about how most of the rounds in the 60s came from the morning. It really started getting gusty when the players that teed in the afternoon got to the back 9. Not only was it swirling at times, but it felt like there was a lot of crosswinds on the golf course today where players were trying to decide how much help or hurt they were getting in a crosswind. And constantly I saw players holding 2 clubs trying to figure out what the shot was or the correct shot to play. And then 15 I thought was interesting, as really 80% of the field was not able to get there in 2 today, or at least elected not to. And when they put that whole location over here on the left side of the green, that wedge shot's so difficult, and just the conversations that we heard all day from 15. I think it's the hardest wedge shot in the world. And just fascinating watching the best players in the world try to hit a 90-yard shot and take 5 minutes to try to figure out how to do it.
Well, and angles really mattered there a lot. I wanted to pick up Rory's group when he started making a move after that eagle at 13, which we got to talk about that shot as well in a second here. But just the two guys that laid up in his group, Ludwig and Akshay, being on either side, and Ludwig having a more straight on shot from the left side of the fairway, whereas Akshay was coming from the right side of the fairway and had a better angle. Ludwig's bounces over with his wedge, and Akshay, who again, I love watching him hit approach wedges right now. Akshay is one of my favorite with just the action he's got, and hit a great one there to hold the green where it was difficult for Mindy to do so. Do you want to talk about Rory's shot at the 13th? Here's some quotes.
Yeah, we can start
Rory.
there.
Yeah. Let me pull this quote up right here because he sets the table for us a little bit here. Had 189 to the front of that green. Deciding between a 4-iron and a 5-iron. And I guess what came into play is that the ball comes out of that pine straw spinnier, so hits the 4, hits it tight, gives himself a chance, makes eagle, really kind of gets himself. He was already playing well, but that really kind of takes him to that 6 under range where he ends up and plays himself back into the tournament.
Yeah, it was fun to watch him hit that shot. Typically pine straw, yes, it does come out a little spinnier. He was between the 4 and the 5-iron. I think that pin was on about 30 to like 34 yards onto the green. So somewhere between like a 215, 220 shot. Knowing that he pulls that 4-iron, that's a club that won't go long. But when he hit the shot, all the people that I was sitting next to in our green room said, oh no, because it started out right. And it didn't look like it was coming back at all. Even Rory, when he was watching, it looked like he was anxiously hoping for some type of lucky bounce. But it was at least a couple yards clear from the right edge and the perfect look underneath the hole. And at that moment, right? I mean, when you birdie 10, you birdie 11, 2 holes that played impossible yesterday and very difficult today. It was the exact start to the second 9 that he was looking for. And so 4 under in his first 4 holes on that whole deal in the back, and really just set himself up. And at that point, he put everybody on notice and said, I ain't leaving.
Yeah, that 4-iron was part of the 3.5 strokes gained approach he had today. It was also plus 2.16 with the putter. I mean, this feels like the day that Rory needed to have, coming off of yesterday where everyone was kind of ready to write him off yet again at the Masters, and today he comes out and he's only 2 shots off the lead heading into the week.
Yeah, he talked to Scott Van Pelt after the round, and the quote that I read, I said, I just had to remind myself that I was playing well. I couldn't let 2 bad holes sort of dictate the narrative of the 16 good ones. And that's basically what I said and what we talked about last night, as I had a chance to call his whole entire round yesterday, and he did such a good job of managing his way around the golf course with discipline and power and just literally the full package for the entire round, besides just a misstep at 15 and then a sloppy double at the 17th hole.
Rory is now your odds-on favorite on DraftKings Sportsbook to win this tournament. He's plus 330, and that is shared not with Scottie Scheffler, who was plus 360 to win this tournament. It's with Bryson DeChambeau.
B Bambino, that's my boy.
Your boy, trying to bring it home for the show. 1 shot off the lead. It's 7 under. Had a 4 round today.
It feels great to have a live guy that this was a whole strategy for me in the major. It's like, can you pick the right live guy during that week for my one and done? And it feels good right now to have the right one. Tyrrell Hatton obviously was up there, but I'm saving him for the Open most likely, unless you have something to say about that. But crazy. Rory's odd-on favorite, 2-backer with Justin Rose. And real quickly, the other par 5, the 15th hole, yesterday makes double bogey. Today, it's a long iron into the green where I don't think I saw anybody hit a long iron into the 15th today for the most part.
Yeah.
If they did hit it on the green, they were hitting fairway wood. So
it looked kind of dicey. So I was in the bleachers. How close to the front of the green was that ball? I was almost surprised it did not come back off the front where he hit it.
For when I didn't even see it land, it was that close to the front based on the camera angle we had.
And he was having trouble placing that ball down after marking it, I was like, yeah, that's close to a slope right there.
Yeah, and a really good 2-putt too.
Really
that's
good.
not easy to judge the speed of that. He was one of only, I believe, of 8 players to hit that green in 2 today of 95. So very impressive. But that's, the advantage that he has on this golf course, like Bryson DeChambeau, that I think length is going to continue to be a key metric Of course, with how straight he's hitting the golf ball, for him, it's going to be about limiting the big numbers. And right now he's got 2 of them on the week. He can't afford any more.
Well, and Bryson, looking at the stats, it's interesting. He's about a half shot strokes gain off the tee, which is maybe less than you expect for a guy with his length, and was actually negative strokes gain approach today. It was around the green where he gained 3.23 strokes and was plus 1.77 putting en route to that 68 he shoots today to put himself in solo second at 7 under.
It's all going to be about the iron game. We talked about this last night. He drives it long enough, definitely straight enough for the most part. It's fairly open out there. There's just a couple of key drives you got to hit fairly straight. But yeah, I love the way Bryson putts it, and the wedge game around the greens has been good too. So he seems like he talked about this yesterday after the round, that he plays this golf course much more patient than he did the first couple of, I guess when he played as an amateur, but let's say the first couple of years when he was confident as a pro that he's going to kill this place, right? Mm-hmm. He's showing that he's got patience enough, even though he's an aggressive long player, that he's comfortable enough playing to certain spots. And a good example of that is, he won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Like, they put these hole locations on these Donald Ross greens right on the edge, where it's easy to want to go try to attack flag sticks, but you have to play towards the middle of the green. At times I feel like Bryson has to execute, of course, the shot that's at hand, but also just have that discipline when he needs it.
Scottie Scheffler, who is 3 shots off the lead at 5 under, only made 2 pars on his second nine today. Surprisingly, both of them on the par 5s, 13 and 15. Wow. And even those were a little bit of adventures.
Yeah, they were.
In terms of the saves that he had to make there. Do you want to just kind of take us through his day? I don't know whether that's disrespectful or not to have him not be the favorite at plus 360, lower than Rory and Bryson, or it could be very fair because he's spotting Rory a shot and Bryson 2 shots. But take us through Scottie's day a little bit and how you feel about his game heading into the weekend.
Oh man, did he look good the first 6 holes. I just felt like this guy's not going to make another bogey the rest of the event. And we get to 7, misses kind of a 6-footer for par, makes a nice birdie at 8. And I thought he almost made eagle at 9, and then misses kind of about an 8-footer. And then this is where things kind of get interesting. Over at 10, it kind of pulls an iron shot that I thought was uncharacteristic. Still hit the green. It was a very difficult iron shot at 10 today with the wind off the right and a right hole location, but he was trying to hold this cut shot, hits it to the left side of the green, leaves it about 7 feet short in 3 putts. So that wasn't exactly the start he was looking for. And then 11, man, he hits the fairway and never really seemed to get comfortable with how hard the wind was blowing. I felt like when he got to the top of the hill at 11, this is the hardest the wind blew the entire day. And when the wind is ripping off the right, you're playing an elevated shot. The green sits at the bottom of the hill. The ball is in the air a very long time. So, what guys tend to want to do is either they want to get the ball on the ground. Well, at the 11th hole, you can't really play the shot short of the green and hope for a bounce because you have the mound short right of the green. So you have to take an aerial approach. So the players, when they hit this shot, have to keep the face from flipping over. You have got to eliminate hitting it into the penalty area left. And he definitely kept the face open on that iron shot because it looked like one of SK's shots because he hit a tree that was not in play on his iron shot. And, he didn't get it up and down. And so you walk to 12 and you're like, man, Scottie's coming off 2 bogeys in a row. Yeah. And then you see him hit this iron shot. And from the camera angle that we had, instantly I thought, wow, that was just one bounce into the bushes over the green. And then it just suddenly appears
right out underneath. Wait, I mean, I had to see the replay again. I thought it was as high as like the tree back there. You don't know where it goes. And then all of a sudden it's there.
Yeah, you could hear Scottie say, oh, thank goodness it rolled back.
But even that would have been a tough up and down from where that ball stops relative to the pin, right?
Like if it would have rolled up in the bushes?
I'm saying the fact that he chips in from there was pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a tough.
Yeah, it's not a overly difficult pitch.
Okay.
Because it did roll back down to the flat. Now would have been difficult for you and I 100%, but Scottie's one of the best pitchers in the world. And right. Before he hit the pitch shot, I said, Scottie's going to be looking to make this and then makes the pitch shot. So, that's just like what he does, right? Just when you think, oh, he's kind of leaking oil here, he chips in and all of a sudden goes from a potential 2 to 3 shot swing and making a 2, and then walking to 13 tee, he drives it in the fairway. You're thinking, oh, all right, he's back. And then he hits it in the water at 13.
Yeah, I mean, they felt just like that, where he's giving away strokes in places that are a little uncharacteristic. Three putt 16, then comes back, makes a birdie at 17. You're thinking he's going to carry some momentum into the weekend, then makes bogey at 18 after a little bit of an adventure off the tee. So, it's obviously, if you're Scottie Scheffler and you're 3 shots off the lead at the Masters, you're right there. You're in play. I'm not doubting him at all, but it's just a little bit of uncharacteristic rust. Loses almost a stroke. Game putting today.
That's the 3 putt at 16 too. Yep, that's the other one. So 2 3 putts will start skewing the stats.
Yeah, and almost a half shot off the tee, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I don't think he really drove it that well. He was getting underneath it a little bit at times. Yeah. That left miss was kind of showing up again, which we've seen at times this year. I look for him to kind of start getting a little bit more on top of it at times with driver. Kind of start to see that fade come back at times, like on 18 today, trying to hold that left to right wind. Hits a big pole. Obviously, if you've seen the picture, it's hilarious. I mean, if you ever thought Scottie Scheffler would be on his knees or sitting on his bottom anywhere.
Some good memes. There's some really good memes on the internet about
like,
that. Yeah.
It looked like he was just out for a picnic underneath a magnolia tree.
Well, let me ask you here as well, is a little bit of love for my one and done pick, Collin Morikawa. Now 22-1 to win the tournament outright. As we mentioned, he got it to 4 under, gave one back at the 18th hole, finishes 3 under. Is Collin 5 shots off the lead? Is you feel like he's still within enough reach to win this tournament? Okay.
100%. 5 shots within the lead is totally fine. Now, the guys at even par, I don't think those guys have much of a shot, especially with who you're looking at the top of the leaderboard. When you see the strength of Rory, Bryson, and Justin Rose, who's obviously playing well, it seems like this thing's going to get up into the double digits on the weekend.
Justin Rose, who we haven't even really talked about, plus 750 to win the tournament, 4 shortest odds to win the tournament while holding the outright lead for the first 2 rounds. And then you got Corey Connors, 12-1, Shane Lowry 16-1, Tyrrell Hatton 20-1. I thought Tyrrell had another really good day, other than giving a few back late. Again, that was kind of the theme today on the second 9.
Where did he end up finishing? Is he at 5?
He is at 5, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, finished at 5. Got as far as 7 after the 15th, and then made bogey at 16, made bogey at 17, par at 18.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting leaderboard. I'm really excited for the weekend, and I don't know if you obviously weren't watching the feature group, but snuck this in there with Ballester today. So Scottie's walking down the 13th hole. It's just him walking. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, oh, it's good to see. And it looks like, a lot of people don't know there's a restroom for the players just off the tee at 13. And it seems that Justin Thomas and Ballester are going to use the restroom. I was like, I got to slip this in there.
That's a fantastic Easter egg. Fantastic if you know situation. So let's maybe we wrap the discussion for the players there today. And of course, we gave you some of the DraftKings Sportsbooks odds there. We gave you our terrible daily fantasy lineup, but maybe we can get a showdown lineup in for a one day. And you can do that too by downloading the DraftKings app and using the code Smylie Show. That's SMYLIESHOW to play free for a shot at the $1 million top prize with just a $10 deposit. That's code Smylie Show for all DraftKings customers. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $10 deposit required. One single-use $10 ticket rewarded for Fantasy Golf Millionaire Contest that expires on April 10th at 7 a.m. See terms at DraftKings.com/promotions.
Smylie, few other items to get to wrap up first 2 days of the Masters. You had a pretty elite lunch today. You could share with us.
Yeah, at least once during Masters week, I like to go eat in the grill room, which is just off that tree that everyone knows, right off the clubhouse. And I saw Scott Van Pelt in there. It's kind of a who's who type of thing when you walk in there and you see some green jacket guys, of course. And ate a nice had a nice burger in there, and it's one of my favorite lunches of the year because you're just eating at Augusta National in the clubhouse during Masters week, and Thought it was awesome.
It's as good as it gets.
Good honey mustard too. Good honey mustard.
I think we ate lunch in there last year, and Scott Van Pelt was also in there at the same time during the par 3 contest.
Yeah.
And I think the honey mustard was just as good.
It was terrific.
It's a good place to eat lunch. That's pretty cool.
Burger was a bold choice before going on air for commercial-free 5 hours, as I fought it a time or two. But it still pretty full.
It's good. I mean, if it did the job, if it fueled the tank for that Masters coverage on the app, then it did its job. Do you want my field report from the day?
Please.
Just like this is more of me just running through a diary of all the different things that went on. I went to the range first, actually. It's pretty good. Watched Sam Burns hit a bunch of wedges. Guy's good with the wedge. John Rahm also, breaking news. Sam Burns good with the wedge. Watched John Rahm a little bit. Watched Ludwig. Ludwig and Wyndham were the two guys in the corner of the range today to start the morning that were just striping the ball to the upper shelf, where there's like those trees in the back of the range and it splits. Ludwig was hitting his balls to the right side of those trees, Wyndham to the left side. It was Ludwig hitting driver, Wyndham just sort of hammering a 3-wood. And I was like, golly, I could just sit here at this range all day. I wanted to capture it and turn it into a screensaver and just like put it on my just watch it all day long.
I'm just picturing you passed out with peach ice cream like all over your shirt.
Yeah, that sounds like a good dream.
Just that what is it, the candy corn popcorn, whatever it is. I'm talking not candy corn.
Caramel corn.
Caramel corn. There you go.
Caramel corn.
Candy corn, whatever. I'm just picturing that just everywhere, like you're
stuck
in your ear.
Can you imagine candy corn popcorn though? That would be really good.
That's breaking my brain right now. I can't even go that far. Sorry, I said it.
Savory popcorn when you put candy corn in it for like Halloween time. I think we could sell that snack on a website or something.
Yeah, it could hit. Maybe if they ever have another Fall Masters, we can pitch that.
For the Fall Masters, I like that. Well, we can pitch both. Bring back Fall Masters, maybe the Creator Masters.
Yeah,
there you go. Problem solved. What else was I going to report to you? Picked up Rory for a little bit. I picked up your group for a little bit. The Morikawa, Minwoo, Joaquin group. Yeah, but that's as much as I have to report today. Gabby Herzig, congrats. She's playing the lottery. Won the media lottery.
Good for her.
Big win. I did not win the media lottery. But that's okay.
I got a couple best and worst to kind of go over. Best shot I saw today was Joaquin Niemann on the 7th hole. Most absurd thing I've ever seen, because
Did that hit in the middle, did that hit beneath the green or in the right between the two bunkers?
It landed probably about 4 steps short of the bunkers. Then that second bounce was in between. Then the third bounce was on the green.
Go to the Masters. Just go watch it. Like, go to the Masters app and watch it. It was unbelievable.
Luckily enough, I was on the call for it, and I was so excited. It was the best. I argued that this might be the best shot at the 7th hole. I thought it might have gone a little too far, because there's been probably a lot of great shots at the 7th hole, but maybe the best recovery shot on the 7th hole of all time.
I was probably standing 80 yards away from him, 2 guys in front of me, and when he hit it, he looked like he I saw it, bounce up to the green. I wasn't sure where it bounced, but I saw a ball above the green, and I knew it bounced short. And I don't know that it registered with him or his caddy yet, but he looked a little upset. And so I'm turning to the guys. I'm like, did I miss something? Does he not know that was good? Like, that's maybe the best shot I've ever seen at the Masters.
It was great.
Unbelievable.
Well, I'll follow that with the worst of moments. The 17th hole with a bit of a putt-putt situation with Cam Young. I don't know exactly the proximity of how far away these putts were. It was a 4-putt, and he probably had 20 feet.
This was at 16, I think. Yeah, this was 17. This is right here. Guys,
at 16.
I thought it was 17. Bad. Well, I mean, we can watch the low light here. We'll just live commentate. So he probably has like a 7-footer above it to the right.
The only reason why I thought this was 17 the whole time is because that hole is ridiculous of how it's cut.
And look, I mean, his as I said to you before we started taping, his fourth putt was the second longest.
I apologize, man. This was bad because there's nothing going on around that hole. Well, Tyrrell Hatton missed a putt about this far on 17. I'm sure of that it was on 17.
I think we have it right here. Oh, unsupported locations on Sky Sports. Real unfortunate.
Other than that, storyline of the day, other than what happened at the top, is what happened at the bottom.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I see. Okay. I'll tell you what, for him to have made that putt from there.
Yeah. Oh, the next one's uphill.
Yeah.
Well, storyline of the day, I think, is what happened at the bottom of the leaderboard. Of course, Nick Dunlap did not have his best day yesterday. One of those days as a golfer, as a professional athlete, in which you just want to run and hide. Nothing's going your way. I have no confidence in the golf swing. Been there, done that. I know the feeling. And, he shoots a 90. And got to give the guy a lot of credit for coming out the next day and shooting a 71. But before, he got to the round today on Friday, this afternoon, I had gotten a report from his agent, Alex Burge, who had said that last night Nick Dunlap left the practice facilities and still wanted to hit golf balls, goes to the local Target and goes and buys 200 to 300 golf balls so that he can hit golf balls at his rental house. So Nick Dunlap, no idea how long and late into the evening he was hitting golf balls, but Nick wanted to make sure that he knew exactly what he could show up with. And at one point today, with all the afternoon rounds, had the round of the day going. So for a guy like Nick, there's no give up in this kid. I've watched this kid grow up since he was 13 years old. Guy's got so much heart, and it's embarrassing when you go out there and shoot a score that you've never shot in your life. Kid he probably hasn't shot 90 since he was 12 years old, and unfortunately did it on the biggest stage and goes out the next day, probably with not as much confidence at all, just trying not to embarrass yourself again. And you got to give this guy a lot of credit for what he did today.
He had some quotes after the round. He said, I hit a couple of buckets of balls at my Airbnb into the woods last night. I had more of a knot in my stomach today than I've ever had starting a round of golf. And also said, I think a lot of people would have maybe backed out, maybe not. Certainly I wanted to at times. I know that. I'm never going to quit. I'm always going to show up. And I think that's echoed by everything that you shared, and cool to see him. You could have easily just mailed it in, but came out today and had a really strong effort, played a good round of golf. So kudos to Nick.
Jax, you want me to text Nick Dunlap to get his address so you can go find some golf balls in the woods? Absolutely. They're probably all pretty fresh.
I'd love to just go to his Airbnb and then we can hit golf balls in the woods tonight. Hey, if he's got a good setup for it.
Just launching balls into the woods.
Launch balls in the woods. And, did you see the exchange between Jordan and Greller on 18?
Yeah. Did he end up making the cut?
He did. He made he was at 1 over on that hole, made bogey there to finish 2 over.
Okay.
I think the cut line's still at 2. It'd be news to me if it is. Yeah, okay. It'd be news to me if it is.
If anything, it would have gone to 3.
Do you? That's all I have. I mean, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of guys on the other side of the cut line, or is that for more of a larger unpack of this tournament?
Yeah, we'll get into that probably as once we get to next Monday of
some tough ones. Brooks Koepka 8 on 18.
Ooh, he missed the cut?
Missed the cut.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Give me the notables and miss the cut while we're here.
All right. So if we're going down here, we'll start at Dustin Johnson, Russell Henley, Chris Kirk, Sergio Garcia, Tony Finau, Brooks Koepka.
Wow.
Adam Scott, Sepp Straka, Cam Smith.
It's a strong group you're going with.
Billy Horschel, Phil Mickelson, Nikolai Højgaard, Robert McIntyre, Cam Young, Lucas Glover, Will Zalatoris. This is funny. I'm playing a game in my head of like reading a name and deciding whether or not they're notable as I scroll. And I think that's the list of notables I have for you. Some pretty good names in there.
Apologize to the unnotable pros that Charlie.
They might actually be happier.
Didn't reference. If you're a fan of the show, we apologize, and actually we'd love to have you come on and we could talk about it.
Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation about why you're notable, and then I will read you as a notable. I'll read a separate category. It's like this person is a notable human being. You're all notable human beings if you're listening to or watching this.
All right. That's the weekend.
Is that it? Is that
it's
good
the
enough?
Weekend.
We appreciate y'all hanging with us once again. And we can't wait to do it again tomorrow night. Another journal on Saturday.
Let's do it.
And we got a Sunday at the Masters. Y'all enjoy. Talk to you soon.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our Leaderboard fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too. So please keep it up.
For all the good people at YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the